There we go. We are is live, just as Veldeck shows up. I was thinking, you know what? Normally I just let the countdown go and then hit go when go on YouTube because it doesn't need the countdown. But since we're all here and this one's a bit more informal, so I'm gonna break from tradition. Hello, Veldeck. Some could say,
Hello there.
and then others would say, because I've been adding sounds again, and that's never a good thing. All over it with the links. I really need to fix that, the YouTube one. Oh, is Nightbot disassociated again? It does that every now and then. It gets disassociated from, or delinked from YouTube. I mean, the fact that it still hasn't come up sort of says that, yes, it in fact has become detached. It needs near constant refreshing. I think it's like the token expires after a pretty short amount of time. Sounds like hanging in Veldeck land. Oh, there it goes. Jeez, that was a hell of a delay. It's just like manually spinning up a new AWS instance for that Nightbot or something. Alrighty, we are basically ready to begin, so let's do some beginning-tification. I gotta find buttons. There we are. We can now begin tificate. I rearranged my buttons, so everything's all over the place now. There we are. Hello, how we doing? So today, I have a little bit of a side project. This is a new Promethium platform I've been working on for, well, a little while. A few weeks, I think. Just chipping away on it off and on. I've got the basics of it down so far. The general principle of it is, so, well, this is the old one. This one's, you know, simple, modest, and very functional. It's been keeping the main save going. This is an earlier version of the save. Like, it's been, two of those have been happily chugging away, but this thing only does like 8,000 science a minute at most, which is, it's a good starting point, but it's not really amazing. And so I really need a proper endgame one. And so the design I settled upon, oh, that's so loud, is basically the same thing, but just made bigger. And so that's why I'm not really too worried about talking about the initial startup, and that's why I'm sort of just skipping over it. Like, it's just this, but instead of 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 this side, it's more like 1, 2, 3, 14. So there's 14 belts of thingies. Does it make legendary science? No, it doesn't. It only does regular. There's not really much point doing legendary Promethium science as such. There's not much value in it. I was experimenting with this sort of jutted corner as well that I saw on Will's Discord, and it's interesting, but I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, we can, there's just not much point. See, the issue is that I don't think from memory, I mean, we are in creative, so we can test this. Like, there's nothing to recycle Promethium chunks into. So you can only craft the Promethium pack into a better quality instead of productivity. The loss of productivity is a big dent. Otherwise, you delete 25%, Chuck him in there, and yeah, it comes back out as a Promethium pack again. So yeah, that's the other way you could do it, and it's a bit nasty. Just not even giving me a better pack. Quality plus 24. There you go. So yeah, it's a difficult one to. It's impossible to craft loop, and there's nothing to boost the intermediates, like eggs, chunks. Everything has to be base quality. So it's a very tricky one to legendary up. Yeah, legendary. I've looked into it, and it's a bit of a. It's a fun thing to do, definitely, but it's very much a bait going into it. It's the cost isn't worth the investment. Or anyway, so what we have, because we have 14 belts here, so I got them paired off into 7 machines here and all that jazz. It's completely symmetric, so each factory is contributing half of the rockets and railgun ammo, and then it's the same thing on the other side. Same thing. Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed at how minimal this thing has actually come out to be. Oh, that's right. I actually saw that this could potentially be taken off a belt. So that's one change I want to immediately dive into and change. Maybe. I'm just thinking about how to actually do that, and I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, Fulgora and maybe Gleba Science is worth pursuing, but beyond that, there's not much point. So what I'd want... Oh, that's awkward. That there. Trouble is that's there. So I've got to wrangle this around. It's an ongoing issue, wrangling all the... Oh. It's a laugh of despair. Yeah, one of the more frustrating elements of building platforms is just trying to make everything fit, and it's a puzzle, all right. It's definitely a puzzle. Alright, what I might do... Just completely pull this up. This is going to cause all kinds of issues, because this thing over here is going to be madly trying to dump chunks back in, and it's going to immediately back itself up. But we shall persist anyway. I mean, I'm preserving that, even though it's not really necessary. And then... I should probably... maybe tell you to go back to Gleba. It might be a good idea. Or in fact, just, give you a little bit of molten copper for now. Let's feed you some molten copper. Likewise, you better have some molten iron, because this thing does actually depend on that stuff. Not quite sure what the best direction is, but, we'll just YOLO it and see what happens. There we go. And yeah, so what I'm thinking, and this is where the struggle comes in, is I'll just swing this around the top. I'll just feed this calcite back in here. Just hand placing it, even though I could be Q picking it. Chuck you in there. We still need this one, however. How am I going to deal with that? Probably with great difficulty. Do I make legendary biter eggs? Yes. I was just trying to think if I, grind them. Yeah, so I just brute force grind them, and all the legendaries just get fed into here, and I just make them directly. That seems to be the most optimal way to do it. At least, I mean, because these things, they're always producing eggs, and there's not really anything to loop them through with. Very early on, I was looping all the different qualities, but I kept getting random biter explosions within the base, and so I was like, screw this, and just recycle grind them. The problem with this method is that you need a lot more biter spawners, or captive biter spawners, and a lot more recyclers. Like, the build you need is quite big. Like, even this is a pretty small build. It's just had the advantage of being able to chug away. Like, this thing's done 12,000. But it's had the advantage of just being able to sit there and chug away at it for hours and hours and hours. Whereas, if you build something 4 times this size, you could get it done a lot quicker. But yeah, that's the general rule of thumb for most quality stuff, is to just tech up the quality up the input ingredients as much as possible. Yeah, this doesn't have it. Or does it? How old is this say? Yeah. Oh no, this one has this stuff. Like here, I'm making legendary tungsten by just recycle grinding it. So we mine it with quality, we recycle it, and then just keep iterating over the recycle until it gives me what I want. Until we end up with a fully stonked belt. This is a bit overkill, because once this has sort of really filled the belt up, then you sort of don't need that much. Legendary tungsten or triangles. But yeah. Similar story, just going through all of them. Complete distracto is the quality platform is probably the best way to get legendary calcite and legendary coal. I value that more than the iron and copper, because the iron and copper can be done locally. They can do that on Narvis quite easily. You can just dedicate a patch. Oh, this save predates that. Just take a fairly large iron, copper, maybe even coal patch actually, and maybe even a stone patch. Like, that's all 4 right there. If you don't want to do the platform, just grab each one of these and just brute force it. This is an experiment you did recycling on a pure coal patch. It's definitely worth doing, because the earlier you get the item up to legendary quality, the more valuable it is. Like, well, yeah, technically yes, well, literally yes, but oops, where are we at? Not you, not you, not you. There we are. Yeah, like, it's just easier to juggle everything instead of, because like early on, I had a few different ideas in mind. Like, I was doing a lot of quality processing on Fagora, and it was just an endless headache of, like, it's even jammed again. It was just an endless headache of different quality items, and it wasn't really working. For holmium plate, either this or supercapacitors, you just loop them to make what you want. And that gives you everything you need. You don't need... well, I've actually deleted it already. But there used to be like a whole lot of recyclers here, which were just making quality stuff. You don't need any of that stuff. Just loop it here. Anything you want, just make a loop for it. Hey! Team McIntyre, aka Derek. How you doing? Hello. Some might even say, hello! Do holmium through the machine? Ah, yeah. Yeah, the biggest pain is holmium, you can't, because it's purely a liquid, it can't be turned into a better quality version of itself through any other means than by putting quality here, which was a sticking point for a long time, because I was avoiding looping these things, and I really needed to just loop them. How's it going? It's going pretty good. I say pretty good. It's I mean, for the immediate moment, it's all right. There's, if I was to be completely honest, I actually haven't been around because of some work issues. Issues. I was just looking at something and I've completely blanked out. I see you having a shortage of stuff. Crisis. You're lacking in explosives. Oh yeah, because you're not receiving stuff. Yeah, currently with my work, part of the reason why I've been away so much is that there's a whole lot of new projects that I'm looking at. There's a whole lot of new projects that I'll potentially be working on, and how do I best explain it? It looks like that there's going to be next to no accountability for the management of the project, and I'll have to eat all of the consequences of how it's managed. If you ever had a project which is, or you've ever had to work on a project which has just been a shambolic disaster, you might think it should be enough of a hint. Sounds unpleasant? Yeah, it's been quite stressful actually, if I'm completely honest. Just like getting any kind of straight answer out of anyone has been tricky, and yeah. Ah, you're happy. Oh no, never mind, you're not happy again. Nope, you run out. Right, why are you... Probably because you're all gummed up. Still. There we go. Look at all that ice flow. There we go. This thing's actually quite impressive that I managed to just sort of bring it down to such a minimal build. That's not a good sound. That's generally the sound that sadness makes when the sadness hits the side of the platform. Co-worker moved to your department because in the previous department there was bad project management, everyone complained. It's the kind of problem that I'm facing, but the problem is there's not really anyone who I can complain to get any kind of action, and oh, that's... Well, you don't have any forward thrust anymore. That's a bit of an issue. The funny thing is, if I copy and paste it down, I think it's just going to get obliterated again. Boom. Just drags through. And again! Kablamo. I like how the game just hiccups every time, just a little bit. Project manager didn't take action. Things escalated. Even external audit was done, and the audit confirmed what people said. Still no change in project management. Yeah, that's the problem generally with bad project managers, is that they seem to just... once they're in, there's very little chance that anything will ever be done about them. It's Eredicus! How you doing? Creating the same madness as Colonel Will? Maybe. Very likely. I really shouldn't be editing this thing mid-flight, realistically. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I was working on this before he started, but there's definitely some design elements that I've borrowed. It's coming back when you have a blueprint. Whoa, I will definitely post it. I'm not sure when exactly though. I really need to... blueprints has just been such a... I've been having a hard time keeping on top of blueprints. There's just been so many to do. Madness followed by maniacal laughter. The maniacal laughter starts when you hear the UPS that this thing eats. I did some performance testing on this part, as it is, and it uses 6 game update. It's terrifying how much UPS this thing uses. But yeah, you bring up a very good point, is that I do want to really go through all of the blueprints, all of my blueprints, and really just bring them in order, because they're realistically just a complete mess at the minute. Now, is there a way, is there a world where I can... You know what, I'm going to ditch that. It's not really serving a practical purpose. I mean, in theory it's meant to be prioritizing, but the reality is that it doesn't... Prioritizing isn't good. It doesn't help me. I need to get this on the other lane, potentially, too. So I can, like, pop that there. You don't need a thingy anymore. Oh, actually, you do. This is all starting to feel like a bit of a waste of time. This whole exercise. Do you really need that many engines? I don't actually know yet. This is just to push it forward. You know what? I mean, it's just... it's a short belt there. You know what? I'm not going to bother fixing it. It's such a distraction. Ideally, I would be going at least 500. And you do want to be going as quick as you possibly can. Yeah, it did side load. So the faster the better. Let's get that out of there. Main thing is that this thing has ice priority over that thing. Should probably move that over there, just to give it a bit more space. This thing is really just pegged as hard as it can go. It's maxed out. These things are doing as much as they can, but I can't pull oxidizer and fuel out of them any faster. It's very likely what I'll do is, like, this is just meant to be a little bit of fuel production, and that comes from over here. Why? Oh, right, because you don't actually have that. You need that. So it can actually correctly count how much asteroidicans it has bottled up. So yeah, each asteroid has its, or each asteroid chunk rather, has its own little belt buffer to keep it all sort of in order. The ice one's fairly obvious. This one, yeah, mostly gets it done. Has a little bit of a slowdown to make sure it can insert stuff in between. Why platform runs so slow? You have a lot of thrusters. I think it must be double what the velocity is right now because of the width. Yeah, it's because of the width. The width is and it's also 492. It's probably a little short on fuel. Yeah, the oxidizer. I mean, it's helped with the efficiency, being a little low on oxidizer. But yeah, like it's got 2 ranks. Because of the size of it, it's increased the weight, which is really slowed it down. So is these both... You're not going. Ah, that's why. There. There we go. Look, it immediately goes up a little bit, yeah. But yeah, width is the big determinant in how fast it goes. How fast any platform goes. So ideally, you actually want like a super narrow platform like this. The narrower the better. It also means it spawns less... I think it spawns less chunks? So I might need to double check that. But yeah, this thing, it's all about girth. It needs the width to maximize chunk collection, because it's all about getting as many chunks as possible. into this thing. Down into this hole, ideally. Alright, I think that's doing better. It's definitely going to be double, or maybe even triple ranked thrusters as well. But we're not quite up to that point yet. The next step that I need to figure out is how to get the thingies in here. I've done a little bit of thought onto this. So like I've got spider eggs coming out here and the GPUs coming out here. Actually got enough room for the bathroom keys and the other keys. But that really causes issues there. Because if that's the spider eggs, then I'm going to squeeze... oh, why don't I just long inserter it? And that would probably work for the GPUs. Then I just need some kind of revolving loop for the spider eggs. Do I actually need a revolving loop for the spider eggs? That's the real question. I don't entirely know. Well, you're split across 3 belts now. That's another complication I hadn't really considered. Oh. Huh. Might be worth doing something like that. When your lanes don't fit. Oh, that's all it'll take. Right, that's fine terminating there, but then we need this to turn round. Question is, why does it turn round? Other than to return it to a dump hole. That would actually need to be the other way round, if I understand it correctly, which is highly unlikely. Yeah, this is when the head pains really start to begin. Why am I not seeing a belt? Because it's right in front of me. Yeah, problem is that now collides with that. So that won't work. Okay. I think the problem at hand is that this is too far down. No, too far up. Not too far down, too far up. And I either need to figure out how to... Well, yeah, it's not going to be able to push up. Can you... Oh, yeah. I don't really want to do too many of those, though. It's a workable solution. So yeah, that can then wrangle its way around to wrangle-dangle its way around there even. Could actually go one step better. Just jump under that. Chuck it in there. Could actually maximize that belt length there. Do something like that. Do I want to go all out? That's the real question, is do I want to go to the trouble of making an artificial hole in the middle of the platform? I don't know that I care to be that extreme with building the platform. I mean, realistic, at the end of the day, the platform's either going to successfully run, or it's I mean, from my experience, it either works or it doesn't. There isn't really any in between. Like, a failed launch is, or a failed run is basically always catastrophic. There's no, like, salvaging it, generally. How many of these holes do I have? 175. I'm starting to really eat into these by doing that. I might... I don't want to lose this space, though. That's the thing. I'm trying not to lose too much space, because wasted spaces means more thrusters. You're about to fly into Aquilo for the first time. Do you need to set priorities on the rocket turrets, or it'll be fine? I would strongly recommend setting it to exclusively do the big chunks. You don't need to do big Promethium chunks, but do the big 3 chunks and ignore unlisted. That way they don't waste ammo, especially early on the small stuff that doesn't really matter. Yeah, huge and... yeah, huge is not actually really... you don't need to put huge in, just big. I was actually checking my old one, but yeah, it doesn't need it. What about you? No, this is your copy and pasted. Yeah, just put the big ones in and ignore unlisted. Otherwise, it will really eat through the ammo. Especially too, Aquilo is... let me just hop back to here. Where are we at? Yeah, here. The trip to Aquilo is particularly nasty. Because you see this big oxide asteroid line peaks out just at about 27. And so what happens is you feel like you're going well, and then just all of a sudden out of nowhere, just before you get to Aquilo, you just get absolutely bombarded with big big oxide asteroids. And they can really just take a platform out. Which is especially true early on when you don't have the many... what is it? Yeah, stronger explosives researchers. If you have at least... no, wait, let me rephrase that. Ideally, the platform should make it if you have at least stronger explosives 4 researched. Less than that, things get really dicey. Because you just... the turrets can't do enough damage to the big asteroids. Worst case scenario, you can just micromanage the... oh. We're out of ammo again. You can micromanage the forward momentum just to make sure that it actually does make it there. You have explosive... ah, excellent. Yeah, should be okay. Yeah, 11 should definitely cover it. Oh, this is a headache and a half. Every time I ask the question, why do I do this to myself? So yeah, you go up and into there, but then create a new problem in that this collides with that. Unless... no, that doesn't work. What about... something... there. That goes there. Then you... do that. You can then turn up. Actually, no. You turn up. There. And you get down to this line. This is just painful. I'm just going to get completely overrun with chunks. Oh boy, this is when the headaches really start. No, 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 that's fine there. So that loops the eggs back around. I guess I will be putting that there. I may want to bring them all the way up to here, though, just so I can share, like, just so I can keep the eggs revolving and share them between all the Promethium producers. Promethium producing what's-a-majigs. Alright, the next step is that hibbity hops over to there. It also means that pulls out of there, so that's fine. Then I need something to swing up into there. It's under... How you doing? Because I'm enjoying that button too much. Didn't realize it was on? Am I on? In an adequate state. Yeah, double on. So these three... Now, I terminated one somewhere and I've forgotten where. Yeah, right here. I think maybe the answer might be continue this on. Right down to there. Boopity bop. Right across and along. Just delete that. I like how you solve the storage problem for Goro, it becomes a new problem. It's just an endless litany of problems, isn't it? Ever get around to making the space science request a video where you call down pods from space only when you need them? No, I never actually did. There's a lot of things I need to do that it's just been a bit of a mess. Oh, the ads. Yes, the ads. The unrelenting ad break of ad breakiness. Right, you get in that hole. You're physically impossible to wrangle through there. This is such a janky solution. And Velda gifting us to Thunder there. Thank you very much for that. Very kind. Thank you very much for that. This actually reminds me, a bit of a side tangent that reminds me of. I discovered there's actually a new Finnish voice thing. It seems to be AI driven, and it doesn't, it's disappointing. Like, it's really nice, but it just doesn't have that same amount of jank that this one has, where it constantly switches language. And so I've elected to preserve the current one because it's just got that right amount of wonkiness to it. It continues to be amazing. Okay, that's not really solved all my problems. But yeah, I never actually did get around to doing that video. Did I actually write that down somewhere? It's probably because I didn't write it down or something. Did I read the past message? Yeah, the space science requester thing, yeah. Yeah, I never actually did anything about that. I had completely forgotten about it. As I say, probably because I forgot to write it down. High quality content creator here, just never does anything. I actually have another one that I need to do. I need to do a summary of the entire base now that it's done. Did manage to get into Kona Will game the other day. Managed to get a copy of it on his. Okay, his one is odd. I don't know how to replicate it fully. But if it's working, that's good. Mine was very simple. It just subtracted from the Robo network. Alright, so eggs do their return journey along here. That tangled mess, I think, works. I mean, there's one way to find out. What we can do is just feed in some GPUs right then and there. Actually, I will slide that. I wasn't going to, but I will slide it across one. In fact, why don't I just use the inserter? Use the inserter, Luke. I was wondering why at only one point it was only calling down 12k, and at one point, but then it's sort of a multiplier of 0.12 on it. Ah, yeah. So rather than getting 128, it was only getting 12,008. Yeah. So the numbers are just so ridiculous, aren't they? The numbers are absurd. Alright, so we got this coming in here. We've got the return. Now, I'm just thinking, how do I make this balance out? Oh, I think it's really just a matter of doing that at the end of the day. You go there, you go there. We don't want eggs getting into places that they shouldn't be. So we'll just do a bit of that. So yeah, they can balance down into there. You're also going to input priority that way, and you're going to input priority that way. So that means they'll prefer to eat what's already on the belts. And I think that'll work. If I was particularly keen, I could actually switch this down to the bottom. How are your train request logics working? Do you use the logistic request system with interrupts depending on which train's carrying? Keep it simple. How come you want a mod or dev guy on the Factorio team yet? Hey, it's Cat. How you doing, Cat? And Solburn, you come to poop on my pillow and scratch up my furniture. I actually was kind of on the mod / dev internal tester for a while, but that was taken away. Yeah, and I did keep the interrupt thing for my trains very simple. I don't do anything particularly fancy. I've been trying to think of... I mean, to be fair, I wasn't really making good use of it. And then work priorities changed, and so I couldn't really make use of it. Did the round trip easily? Never in doubt. Nice. That's a good result. It's always very unnerving doing the first Aquilo run and really sort of pushing through that sort of initial Aquilo stage. Yeah, excellent to hear. The next problem I have is I need to park this fusion reactor somewhere. Ideally not where the biters are. Ooh, hiccups. Ideally not where the biters are. I don't even know if this is enough. We'll see. So I've got the electric energy interface for the moment. I want to see what the total is. It's sort of hitting around a gigawatt currently. Ooh, with peaks at 1.3. But I need to see what the entire platform uses before I get too committed either way. Yeah, as I say, I wasn't really making that good use of it. And where are we at there? And yeah, my commitments were such that I couldn't make use of it. Right, you get out of the way. Alright, you nom up all of that. Tidy up the belts, tidy up the belts, tidy up the belts, and tidy up the belts. That's awkward. Alright. How about we hop, skip, and jump through to here? Derp, derp, derp. That's completely palatable to me. There. Palatable? What even is that meant to be? There. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's basically the limit of heaving stuff into the platform. Is there any world where I could... Oh, potentially... Like... I could squeeze it in by just looping that there, popping that there, and there. Just really cramming these things in. Ooh, actually, I can do one better. It doesn't help me because these things don't tile like that. But it was the thought that counts. Dear. I mean, I might just keep that anyway, just to make it a little less of a tangled web of nonsense. Wish there was a system where the logistics network detect when they're about to go bad, like 2% left before they hatch, and toss them out and destroy them before things get worse. Yeah, it is. You need logic to make that happen. And it's kind of annoying to do. I actually did have that system on this platform. The problem is that you can't measure the freshness directly anymore. I'm pretty sure at the LAN you did have the thing for measuring freshness. Solburn might be able to confirm that for me. But yeah, the way I did it was I had a timer that started as soon as it detected biter eggs in the platform hub, and it just started counting down from a predetermined number. 44 minutes, actually, apparently. Is it the 44 minutes? No, that's the flight time, sorry. 29 minutes, 20 seconds. That's the one. Yeah, C greater than 0, C less than 360, 360,000, which is, that. Yeah, 100 and... What is it? Yeah, 105,600, which is 29 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's the amount of time it takes for the biters to be shoveled into a rocket and thrown onto the platform. That's the amount of freshness that they lose. And that's why I want so many hatches, because that reduces that delay. Need the platform to get to the good Promethium as quick as possible, and need to get the eggs into the platform as quick as possible. So yeah, maximum hatchage, so the biters don't hatch edge. And that is also a terrible combination of words to rhyme. This one should also actually be sulfuric acid barrel. So the lubricant one is this one lets it load biter eggs, and this one lets it leave Gleber. And yeah, ideally, probably along here is what I would do. I'm not sure entirely. Maybe you could have like a hole either side, and so it can just shovel into the void, just into the hole. Wailing through all of them combinators and deciders and falling over a wire and it falling out and him seeing, where did this one go now? I mean, technically that did happen when I made this updated version, is that it actually lost a wire and it actually kept getting stuck at Narvis, failing to collect eggs and go. It sort of partially load but wouldn't go. And it had been eaten many times. And I definitely didn't reload the save in frustration. Alright. I think the next step is to actually go out. No, you need to go to the edge first. Otherwise, this just starts counting down, I think. Not sure. Well, either way. It needs to, yeah. So I've got the railguns just shooting, like, without ignore. You really don't want to do that unless you're in super duper endgame. You really need the highest of the, quality, what you call it, the productivity levels. So you really need to... Oh wait, you are actually wrong. Yeah, you know, you need the asteroid productivity above like 200% and so on and so forth. Speaking of, these are they only 270? What's the productivity at? Oh, it's only 23 at this one. Well, that's the thing to come to when he gets there. Yeah, you need to change those. But yeah, I hadn't even seen that one. I didn't even catch it. Yeah, productivity helps a lot. I was also starting this thing up is absurd. Getting it to actually start up is very difficult because the supply thingies are on the side here. It can manage fine, going between Aquilo and Gleber or Aquilo and Fulgora, but on the inner planets it really struggles to get supply. It sort of needs to be beyond Aquilo to really work correctly. It's a rather strange issue to have. Alright, we're just waiting for that to happen. While we're heading out, I think it might be a good idea to chuck some biters. Actually, what I'll do... Probably an easy way to do this by just using one of these chests. There we go. Does it even make it down? Not really. You can't actually supply enough eggs. It's an interesting problem to have. Yep, you're completely out. And yeah, now this thing should be revolving and these should block up. And maybe a dump system could have some holes in the middle or something. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe just have a dump that goes out the side, like out here. Bit of an awkward thing to do. Yeah, this should give a bit of an indication as to what the power consumption will be. What are we at? 1.1. I think this can only do 1-ish. Where's actually the output there? Well, I didn't want... so, behind here is meant to be Promethium... Oh, yeah, Promethium storage is meant to be behind here. Which means I've got this awkward... position to put this thing in. Not quite sure how I want to do that yet. Does lead to this interesting situation where I'm basically shoving biter eggs right next to the fusion reactor. But again, I found that this thing tends to be very binary. It either works or it doesn't work. There's not really, when it comes to Promethium platforms, there isn't really sort of an in-between state. I'm only doing 489 at the minute too. I suppose that's technically correct. Speed it up, actually. Just delete some of that. There you go. See, look it go up. $490. And then... there it goes. It's... what is that? That's, 7 kilometers a second that it's gained just by deleting that? I mean, at the end of the day, it's all pointless because all this is meant to be filled in. So, like... oh, it's going to take forever to fill in now. Just creating more problems for myself. See, that's down to 470. Oop, don't want to do that. Fill that in, and fill that in. Like that. And that. I'll let that figure out at some point. Is there a point to Promethium storage? Is the yield negligible compared to the egg biter egg production? It helps to consume eggs on the way back to Promethium space. You could generally, at the minimum, quadruples the amount of eggs you can take compared to just straight up egg dashing. I think I'm trying to remember what the stats were for this platform. It takes 120,000 eggs, and it can't... gee, that's really loud. It can't take that many without the storage to sort of consume the eggs on the way back out. The idea of the storage is really just to collect Promethium on the return journey on the way back from going out, more so than actually just collecting Promethium. That's the approach that I've always had to it. So, like, it's making the trip more efficient by making each part of the trip do more work, if that makes sense. So instead of taking eggs out to then turn in Promethium and then do nothing on the return journey, it's now collecting Promethium for the return journey to then take more eggs out on the next outward journey, to then collect more Promethium, to then take even more eggs back on the next journey. And it eventually reaches an equilibrium. I think mine takes 40,000 eggs without My old one takes 40,000 eggs without storage. I don't remember the exact number though. But yeah, it genuinely does make a big difference. In theory, this platform should take about 900, maybe 950,000 eggs. I should actually save it as well. Just because I've got some biters around the hub. Which I should probably also consider putting some laser turrets down around. Just find any free space and cram a laser turret down. So what is that? There's 123 in. What are we doing? 14,000 a minute right then and there. 13,000. Consuming 4,000 eggs a minute. That's comparable to the old one currently. Now the next pain in the sphinctal cavity is storage. I need some serious storage. Actually also need to continue this down further too. I don't know how much further is really necessary. I mean, you're still seeing Promethium chunklets down the side. I might halve the number though. 'Cause yeah, they already overlap. Oh, that's the carbon dump. Running at full speed? Not really, no, because I put more platform down, so it's slowed right down. I still got to sort out the speed situation. Clomps. Unfortunately, I put some pipes in the way, which is mildly inconvenient. Alright, I gotta figure out this pipe situation then. I wonder if I can wrangle some containers down there. What am I at? 106? I probably don't need to. I'm obsessed with getting more storage in, and I probably don't need it. Failed it with a broken fiber optic cable. Now... So, this is my Kajigga for getting Promethium down into storage. And this is a hangover from this platform. I didn't really put any thought into this thing. It just sort of exists. So, what do? You red, you do a bit of blue and that. And then you just have straight up green. I think what I need to know is many things. You had fiber for the last 15 years, 1 gig, 1 gig. I mean, the real question is how oversubscribed was it? Or was it not oversubscribed? Usually a Christmas miracle if it isn't oversubscribed. Pretty sure that's the maximum extent. This one here. Nope, that's very wrong. Are you very wrong? Alright. Boo! Ooh, didn't know it was spooky time yet. How's it going, Will? Boo or Boo earns? Huh. Connected? Definitely not connected. Should really outsource this. Too much of a headache. But yeah, this is what I've been working on for a few weeks. Will, do you like what I've done so far? It really... Oh, it's not dragging down the FPS yet. What's the time usage, though? We're sitting at 6. The game normally sits at about 2. And, we're hitting about 6 at the minute. Which is generally a good result. I'd like to think. I was trying out that corner thing that I saw. And the conclusion is inconclusive. It seems to just lose a lot of Promethium, so I'm going to revert that. I'm actually quite happy with the factory, this thing. It's very simple, the factory. It's just a long line. I mean, and then there's a bit of fuel stuff there. That's about it. $15 for the first 12 months, then 22. So nice to be on a continent where, with the density to afford that kind of expense. Still get hit, but hard to tell at 700 kilometers. That is fast. You see it and you just sort of slam right into it. I've had a lot of collisions with this corner also at 430 because I just filled this in. But at a fairly modest speed, I've been hitting things, so I'm not too keen on that corner setup. Probably going to overburden the fuel / oxidizer supply. Yeah, worst case scenario, the efficiency goes up if it overburdens it. Yeah, what I need is the storage, and then back where the thrusters are, I need like another set of thruster and oxidizer production factory things. Let's just put some up here just to help sort of start the system. Oh, there goes the frames. Bye bye frames. I hope you find your family. Is it coming back? It's trying to come back. It's thinking about coming back. There it goes. It's happy again. Alright, let's put a pin in those for the minute. See, get all eaten up. So what was it actually doing? It sort of peaked out at 16,000, which is pretty good. I think that's actually pretty much on the same level as the old one. This will be a hybrid. So I've got this thing, like, I really sort of crammed everything to as close to the front as possible. And then I've got the, this thing has 14 belts, so I've got, the 14 belts down and 14 belt return. What is wrong with this thing? Oh, that's very short. But yeah, this is a hybrid. I'm all about that hybrid. There. It actually does it right about there. Kind of. I just need to cram this down a little bit. Somehow. It's currently a dasher, but I'm adding the... well, it functions as a dasher, just with that. It just lacks the storage component yet, because I don't have a good storage design. Oh yeah, you don't go there in that hole. Hang on. I'm confused. My brain can't do the thinky thing. And why does that branch? Not really supposed to. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4 go in, but only 3 come back out again. Oh, that's why. Now 4 come back out again. Yeah, 14's not a pleasant number. I should realistically, I'd push it to 16. Yeah. 14's not nice, but I'm worried about UPS going much bigger. This thing is, as I say, I've already peaked this thing out at 6.5 game update at worst, and I haven't even finished it. Can't imagine how much, it'd be, the entire game is just being sunk into the game's UPS is being sunk into this thing if I go much bigger. That's actually very useful doing that. 4. Problem is that this isn't a very good storage mechanism. I don't feel like. Just thinking. What I need is like 1, 2 there. 3, 4. So the red's on its own. Those are together. You're on your own, and you're on your own. I should probably combine the yellow and red, because I think the blue goes in there. So I should probably combine the... Combining them is very annoying to do, unfortunately. It does mean that they don't go at full speed, but I'm not that worried about it. Half of it is looking at it. Go to nervous. See the UPS. Yeah, it... Wait, what are we at now? 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, I do have all this other map to deal with, so it's not a pure result. Yes, it's down to 4. Yeah, the looking at it does eat a lot. Yeah, I've seen at least 6 measurable difference. There you go, the frames again. It's back. Kinda back, it's still dropping. I think it's stabilized now. I think I'm on the second switch that's misbehaving now. Just look at that go. It's still feeding in. What is that? That's the yellow one. Yeah, what have we got? 3.7k, 2.3k, 2.7k, 3.3k. 3.3 is that one. 2.7 is that one. 2.3 is the blue one, and 4 is that one because it's double. Yeah, thing's angry at me now, the YouTube thing. Yeah, lately I've had to keep... I've had random... yeah, YouTube is a bit better with it. But yeah, I keep getting random cable disconnects on my PC. And it's been getting worse and worse. And this is... So I have this is all plugged into a 2.5 gig switch, and it feels like the second switch that seems to be going bad. Or it's overheating or something, I'm not sure. But like, the 2.5 gig has just been such a headache. Just never-ending problems with it. So collectively, what is that? That's 12k. And then I need to get it in and out. I'm not happy with this storage solution though. The density is good, but yeah, I don't love it. It's tempting to actually get rid of the yellow. That could actually be it. Twitch is fairly frequently show short buffering, and about every 15 minutes the player totally crashed. Yeah, and also because I stream through a VPN, that has like micro dropouts and other things as well. Which is actually kind of ironic because the reason I'm streaming through a VPN is that I get less dropouts. I started doing it because I was getting less dropouts than without one. Like, it legitimately performed better through a VPN. What was that? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. It's also, I suspect, because YouTube transcodes on the fly, so it's able to better deal with it, whereas on Twitch you really... You're just playing what you see. Or it's just playing what it sees. Right, we get rid of you. Oh yeah, that is actually only 3. That's fine. Of course they're all full. Let's do this over here. The time. Oh, we need a... running out of time. Unfortunately, these sessions are somewhat limited. If you do have if someone has a better blueprint of this, I would be keen to see it. I'd be keen to put it down. These things are just a huge headache though to set up. They take some brain power. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll just give it like 2 tile gap there. I'm gonna have to delete all this. Delete all this, delete all this. What a crazy pipe network. I said it's like 50% though. That way the factory, this thing keeps, wherever it is there. That way you still produce. Still somewhat of a simulation. Right, so what does that actually give me? So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. It's an awkward number. It would be better if it was... Oh, it wouldn't actually help if it was 4. It would still be an awkward number. Alright, that's our target. Ah. Basically perfect. Yeah, 1, 2, oops, 2 and 3. Although arguably it could do that just to fill in that space. Any tile that can be saved is a good thing. I could actually plug this into here. In theory it should stay compressed because it's all compressed back there. Now you drop that there, drop that there, put that there, and then put that there. So that's 1 out of Yes, storages. Love the dust cloud in front of the ship. Imagine humans would decide to fly the nearest things to a big noticeable fraction of the speed of light. Uh-oh, you're stopped. Why you stopped? Ah. Interesting. That's meant to be a Christmas song. See, green, red, blue, green, red, blue. 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 Green, blue, red. Blop and blop. Alright, so now they should all be moving, yes, and they are. As I say, I still don't have anywhere to put this thing. It's a bit of an issue. I could leave 2-tile gap here. It's a little awkward to... Oh, he's going... Oh, it's just a gap. Got to be careful with whole belt readers as well. They can really eat UPS if you're not careful. 4.5, 4.8, 13. Two of them are found their way through. In theory, this should actually bend and then up. That would use up this negative space here. Should actually pull it this further along, seeing as though I can. But I'd like this thing to fill up entirely. Ideally, I would have more, like the yellow belts extend further, but I don't know how to do that. So what do you want? We've got 3, so that's 6, 9, 12, then 13, 14. So it would end basically there. So that would be my storage, and then another lot on the other side. Yeah, what are we at? 7.2, 7... 9.7 and 13. All right. Is this a terrible idea? Probably. I actually need you to turn round as well. It's Ann Slazer. How you doing? Oh, my thing is hidden too. There we go. Sorry, I I wasn't reading. I couldn't see Twitch chat because the thing was hidden, and the this one hides half of the messages because of the welcome to chat room thing, so I don't see most of them. No yellow. Yeah, don't whole read on this scale. Count and count in and count out on pulse. Yeah. There's a book of them. That's what you use. It's easy to find. Comes in 5 sizes. The 8x5. Okay. Yeah, I might do that. Let's. I'm pretty sure several of those didn't come through on there. Actually, no, they're actually there. But yeah, the chat that I look at isn't actually I'd hidden. I'm sorry. I'm a me bad stream and not reading chat. But yeah, something like that. At least it gives me an idea. What was it? 3, 6, 9, 12, 50. Yeah, 15. 15 will do. It gives you some idea of the size, so that's going to be the storage. So what does that come out to total? 40k, so 40, 80, 120, so on and so on. It's getting late. 5 4s are 20. 200,000 there. Alright, I'll plug these in to at least get an idea. Bad? Yeah, I know. It's like a big time streamer or something. Yeah, it has one extra. Now it's extra gappy. Now, how hard is it to run pipes through belts of Promethium? Like, you don't even reach there. I don't even know how useful this even is. That's a workable solution. I have to do something like that though, just to squeeze that in there. There, and there. Just make it a straight one. So there we go. Alright, so those are out there. I can actually shift this up then, because I was sort of assuming that I'd need to give it room. What a mess. Oh, that's broken. Fine, I'll just keep it like that. What does that come out to, actually? What was it per craft? 10. I mean, it's 20,000. Yeah, it's 10, so it's 20,000 crafts. So that's 20,000 packs. 40,000 packs if you count the other side. Not 20,000. Jeez. I was saying it out loud. I was like, this doesn't sound right. It's because it's 25. It's 25 chunks. I'm looking right at 8,000 crafts, which is 80,000 eggs worth. So it's 160,000 eggs worth of storage right there. I'm hoping for 900,000. In theory, it should be able to do 950, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that many. I might need to straighten out the storage situation before that happens. Keep in mind, I still can't power this thing too. Actually, speaking of power, how is power doing? Yeah, it gets up there. 1.5. It probably gets up there when the railguns start firing. Still got to find a home for this thing. Oh yeah, I was going to redirect these a little bit. Why am I deleting the belt that I'm immediately putting back down again? Oh, that was an egg hatching. Yeah, I'm really stepping up my Promethium game. I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, it's only 2 belts of eggs. That's why I'm not entirely confident on it. The problem is that when I started this project, I very quickly discovered that you actually can't get the packs into and the biotic eggs out of the hub quick enough. It's actually really annoying. Oh, more hatching. And again, I just keep hatching. So yeah, it may end up being down into... I need to run the numbers again, because when I ran the numbers, it was before I realized the limitations existed. So I might need to run them again to see what the actual number will be. Because yeah, it seems like I'm limited. Like no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get more than like 2 egg belts out of the hub. That is ugly as hell. But can I like at least attempt to squeeze something in there? Maybe. I'm really just throwing caution to the wind with this egg system. Oh yeah, that one's still space. It's also on the wrong side. Now what I need to do is flatten it a little bit. Not diagonal, but close. It's not far off. I mean, I did the similar thing up here because I was trying to squeeze as much space as possible out of this thing. It's a bit unfortunate that this is off by 1 because then it wouldn't slot down into here. But I can't actually make it the spacing correct. I probably remove that beacon, actually. But yeah, I would just gain the space. The gap would move down there. So by shifting this, I don't actually achieve anything. Like by filling in this space. I can tell you this because I already tried. That's not a fluid pipe. There we are. Max we can figure from the hub is 4 egg belts out and 9 pods in plus token chips and fuel. Yeah, what was mine? Mine was 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 packs in. Oh, you're reducing it down to 9, so 3 belts in. I have the 2 tokens, the that for eggs, and the 1 for GPUs. Yeah, based off of this one, where I had 4 in. Oh, it's a bit of a weird one actually, because everything came out direct. I don't think no, I don't actually have the old one. The old one was 4 in. It was still 4 in, but it was 1 GPU out and yeah, 1 lot of eggs out. 13,500. That was one of the next things. What are we actually at? 3,300. Yeah. These aren't legendary though. I've sort of just been building out as a placeholder. I'm just tackling each issue one by one. Yeah, 4 belts of eggs is what you got. I'm intrigued by the number of the small number of pots going in. I suppose I could reduce it to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would get 3, 6. It's not quite enough for coming back, going out again though. But the tokens could be. Uh-oh. What's that? Something bopped. Can't see it. Oh, there it goes. There you go, the engines. There it is, there's a chunk there. Not sure how long you're still streaming, but can I make a suggestion for a raid? Ja. Jawohl. There we go. It's like nothing ever happened, even though it's gonna... Oh, there, the laser's done its job. It's the problem with this test thing, is it's not really rated for it. Oh yeah, because it's it's taken damage, so it's triggered the emergency abort. I'd have to look at the numbers again to see if I can rejigger it. I reckon I could reduce the key, the token key thing down to a smaller number. Yeah, like I could probably just dynamically set the filters on it so I can grab what it needs, eject what it needs, and put back in what it needs. That would get me more biters on the sides. Yeah, biters are the limiting factor. I mean, this belt doesn't even get all the way to the end. It just absorbs all the eggs. Could be a flawed design. I might need to tweak it. But there's time. There's a lot still to do. Just tidy up this. One of the goals is to make it symmetric. Rotationally symmetric. I think the other one kind of was, but wasn't really in practice. It's also interesting that I dump excess carbon, and I think you will dump excess sulfur. I'm not quite sure how that works. Because I always find I'm short on sulfur, not carbon. I think all my platforms are like that actually. They always dump carbon and keep sulfur. But the way I do it is it processes that does the advanced processing, and then it fills up the rest with the regular if there's a shortfall. Took 18 hours to design the latest one with 2 or 3 people. Yeah, these things take so long to design. I mean, I've been working on this for about 2 weeks now. Admittedly, it's only been... oh, you actually don't dump anything. Interesting. Because I am basically always running on a deficit of carbon to keep the sulfur up. I mean, this thing's probably really pushing the limits of what's possible. It's maxing out a full belt of explosives to make the rockets and everything. I measured the peak usage spawning it in. It's about 1,000 railgun, 8,000 rockets. And so this is just a bit of a note for how I derived it. And so I built the factory around that. And so, yeah. It can peak production, I think, is around 9,000 for the rockets and about 1,100 for the railgun ammo. And yeah, and either side can supply both lots. I'm intrigued as to how you manage that. In theory, it is possible, but productivity should throw it off. Yeah, these things aren't maxed out on productivity. Just had a great call from your former manager from 15 years ago. We're still at the same company. He'd like me to join his team. He's kind of CIO for the organization of 6,000 people. Ooh, sounds fancy. Yeah, you're making me rethink my numbers now. I'm starting to rethink my strategy. So, oh yeah, the 18 hours with 2 to 3 people. So what's that? That's 54, 56, something like that. 54 hours man hours collectively. And I've been doing this for 2 weeks, you know, like 2 hours at a time, like 3 days a week-ish. So I'm probably only about a third of the way there. It's just much more long and drawn out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find the book for this. Why it is go? Oh yeah, because you're not actually filling that up. Alright, next thing that I know that I can do is run these down. I should invest in more turret, in fact. Let's tweak this up a little bit. There. Oh, there's a lure belt in the way. Bloop and blurp. Alright, what's happening? Oh. Just a random other platform. It's just... Again, a watch platform never hits asteroids. Just random collisions with asteroids. That's the postal yeah, the postal platform always used to have that. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, just don't bother I mean, this thing basically runs the whole time. Actually, let's look. It is... Yeah, you could direct inserter it if I did it that way. 39.8. 28. Because, yeah, this thing is... it's 1 and 5, and then this is 2 and 5. Because this thing actually takes 1 as well. Yeah, they're in perfect ratio. And yeah, so that means that I could have... how is it? Just slurping the entire belt. I think it's actually stopped dumping too, immediately. Yeah, I think I'll have to rethink the factory to put that in mind. I think I can see a combination working. Yeah, and just separate out the fuel entirely. Probably pull it down to like there. Just in fact, even potentially rethink the entire thing so that the fuel is completely isolated. You reuse the frontage and storage, so parts are just copied into place. Does include 6 hours of running and testing and tweaking. Yeah, the never-ending tweakage. So yeah, I can see this thing, it's running in a deficit now. It would probably be better off as a 1-to-1 in this case. So 1 coal maker to 1 thingy making explosives, cryo plant. And so I'd need another coal maker to pair off with another one of these, so it'd be like that there. It's a process. It is definitely a process. I'm just looking for the in brackets, not sorry. I mean, realistically, it is the way to go. It is an optimization. Getting rid of the dump stuff is... It's less inserters, it's less belt. It simplifies... Like, it complicates the factory, but it simplifies the platform. It is ultimately a good thing. As attached to the current factory as I am, because of how much simpler it is compared to my previous one, it could be better still. And yeah, then you just directo like that, and it just never needs to dump. And on top of that, it actually eliminates this entire belt situation. Just not needed anymore. Like, that all goes away. That goes away. It's such an inserter saving too, because it's now 2 inserters to do the job of 4, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inserters. I mean, that's a hell of an optimization right there. So something like that. Probably rotate at 90 degrees. Like do that, and then do that. That's the total length currently. Which I already or I already know. In theory, they're too close to rotate. You're welcome. That's opened up a can of worms. How do you fit into here? 4 tiles is your 5 tile. Oh, that just doesn't fit. Actually, it can. This can push down tile because this belt doesn't need to exist anymore. I mean, it's already stopped dumping. So it's not all lost. Ugh. Yeah, and then peel it back to... yeah, peel the crusher back to here. No, it can't. Crusher has to be forward of the cryo plant. Like that. And so the crusher would need to be there. Let's peel that out of the way. And then... something like that. No, it'd have to be like that. 1, 2... Oh, hang on. No, I already proved that that's not possible. There's not enough space for it already. Wesley Crushinator. Actually reach? Yeah, it reaches. What are they at? I mean, that's kind of terrible because that doesn't really accomplish anything, but what do we get out of it? It almost fits in that footprint. But it does, this whole area completely changes though. So it's not the end of the world. Doing that. Hang on, what was the footprint like? So I could just shuffle over 2 tiles. I could probably shrink down the ice, get it out of the way. Oh no, it's actually right on the edge. Yep, you just got 15 more hours, and I got 15 more hours of suffering. Another month of building this thing. Maybe I do want to go that way. It's the puzzling phase all over again is what it is. If I just rotate them in different directions, eventually something will be seen. Eventually I'll see something. Do I actually need to run at that full speed? It's like... I mean, it's not the only arrangement that exists. You could pull this in, tuck it in like that. And that unlocks more potential options. Pull it in a tile further. Like that. Then I can still just barely cram another thingy in. And that can do that. And does that fit? It does fit. With room to spare. Oh dear, you're warning away. That's a tile too close. Which is handy, because I can give you even more thingies. What are you currently? 11 beacon. So this is now 12 beacon. Not sure how you feel about the 15 legendary legs you used. Too fast for local movement. Yeah, too many legs, and it does start to push the limits of what's really practical. Such an elegant way to make explosives. It's so much nicer. Just defeating the whole thing that they wanted us to do. That's the added bonus as well. It just defeats this whole thing. How does this thing output? Oh, it goes up there. How far does that go? Not that far. I don't straight up hate it. It does work. Alrighty. Oh, what? Probably gonna want water. Yeah, water. That's created a whole lot of new problems. Alright, that'll at least get the pipe hopping and jumping about. Alright, what does a little bit of water do for me like that? It just chugs and then done. More full of that now. I probably need to make you regular inserter. Well, you can be stack inserter. Interesting. What are you waiting for? Coal. Waiting for that. I think the answer is have two, but filter them. There we go. So that thing's working its little heart out. It's probably needs more beacon. Oh, you're out of chunklets. So with the ideal supply of chunklets, your output's now full. I think it's just speed now. Okay. I mean, I haven't done any numbers, but it's just sort of feeling it out. That seems to be where it's at. So you're only 5 beacon. Yeah, because this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it only gets those. It doesn't get anything closer. It actually almost needs these beacon. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, pull them down to there, so it gives a little bit of space in there. Yeah, that one only covers the grinders, which doesn't really matter. Then you, just to slow the belts down a little bit, slap that in. Probably don't need that. Yeah, I should be perfectly happy. What do you should be 6 beacon? Okay, still slightly starved of carbon. This thing isn't running at full productivity. It's only 270% productivity. It's basically running maxed. So I think that's a workable solution. And it should be able to, yeah, it can slot right in there. And there's actually room for this one just here. So it actually covers that, and then there's that old spaghetti system doesn't need to exist anymore. And yeah, it can just feed these two. What are we at? Now, hopefully this doesn't cause total collapse. Sort of creating further problems for myself. I mean, realistically, this whole lot would come up. It's the molten copper supply. It's actually interesting because it created room for the copper to run through here, potentially. It's actually freed up space. Oh, I think this thing needs multiple water connections from memory. I forgot about that. Hang on, how much does it use? 268 a second. I think it might be okay. Yeah, you're backed up on carbon asteroids. Works for me. Doesn't work for anything else yet. There we go. Yeah, then this is going to come out. What's the time? Oh, I'm actually over time now. Damn it. Complication is getting the water in and the calcite in. I'm not 100% sure how to do that yet. You go right there, please. Thank you. And there. Alright, I just want to see if the water can keep up. Okay, it can keep up. I forgot that was a thing. Doesn't it say something else if Darthy specifically runs that command? Where is Darthy also? Shouldn't he be here? I mean, I managed to convert this thing. That's the main goal. I need to make this belt a little more elegant, a little less crap, maybe. I suppose the next step is actually getting the ice off the belt, but I'm not sure how to do that without causing more headaches and issues. I suppose I could just put it in the middle and figure it out from there. Oh, actually, you are meant to be more beaconed. What are you looking at? A Promethium platform, or at least the skeleton of one. Still just sort of ironing out the details, and Will has led me to down the tangent of completely redesigning the factory. Yeah, 3K. Is it 3K or 1.5K giving you 3K? No, it is 3K total. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, this thing, it's only pulling in 268 per second. Whereas this thing, it's 1.3K. The reason I hesitated was I seem to remember this thing actually needing both connections. These definitely can't because they're 10K, 8.5K, which you cannot pull out fast enough. Oh. We arrived back at base. Anyway, I need to potentially leave it there for today. And I was just wondering, did I see... I think in the... Oh, I can't see it now. Well, anyway, I need to leave it there for today. We'll just wait for the ad break to end first, though. And I can also have a yawn. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. We'll continue this on at some point. I'm not entirely sure when yet. Things are a bit in flux at the minute. In theory, we should be going back to the normal time slots, but that I don't know when that'll happen yet. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. And lunchtime for you? Ah, there you go. Who are we going to go say hi to? That is the real question. This feels weird. It's weird, isn't it? Normally it'd be when you're getting up in the morning. What do we got? McIntyre doing some world record. Hey, Ultrasaurus is playing this. We've got Hobbit. Inter's on. It's you for bed and you for lunch. Yeah, it's normally the other way around. If I'm on your save. Who else is on? Let's go say hi to Monsieur Faze Lotter. Still in Factorio for the first time, so let's go say hi. I don't normally raid outside my own usual circles, so let's go say hi to someone different. So yeah, let's go say hi to Faze Lotter. He seems to be... I apparently am following him. I don't know them that well, but let's go say hi. They're doing... He's doing Gleber, presumably for the first time. He's learning Factorio. So let's go say hi and guide him through the wonderful world that is Gleber. And yeah, other than that, thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here. And I shall see you next time, and bye-bye for now. Ah, he's living in Denmark.